PM. Can remote people hear us?
We can hear you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you. All right, so we'll call the Finance Committee meeting to order. The Zoom meeting ID is 844-6523-8259. Zoom meeting password FinCom, all capital letters FINCOM. The Zoom chat will not be monitored. Participants who wish to speak must raise the hand icon until the chair asks them to unmute. Note this meeting is being recorded for live broadcast and televised replay by Bourne TV. If anyone is audio or visual recording, please acknowledge it at this time. Looks like none. Use of flash photography during Finance Committee meetings is prohibited. First is excused members. Wayne is excused, he's away. Next, reserve fund transfer requests. Are there any reserve fund transfer requests?
None tonight, thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll move on to the articles, and we will vote to approve or not to approve, or some other recommendation for each one. So the first is special town meeting Article 1 about the Iceland facility. Is there any discussion about that one?
Nope.
No?
I'd like to discuss something if I could.
Yeah, sure.
I just have a question about Iceland. Is that actually and this is my newness, my greenness, is that actually a town agency or is it a separate entity?
It's a town department.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on
It's,
that article?
if I could just clarify, it's town department funded from the enterprise fund that they maintain, not from the town budget, is that correct?
It's still the enterprise fund is still a town budget.
Right,
It's just not the general fund.
right.
But it is a town department, it is 100% municipal, and,
Oh, yeah.
and their money is public too.
But their money, they don't draw from the town operating funds.
They don't draw from the general fund. It's
Right.
all town money,
I understand,
but,
okay.
but it's not the general fund.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this article, item 4A? Someone like to make a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right, so this has to be a roll call vote. We'll start with Priscilla.
Yes.
Thank you. Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And chair votes yes. Next, a special town meeting, Article 2, that's about removing the town's conservation property on Shore Road, or some of it, from conservation to use it for a fire station. Now, we might want to defer the vote on that until town meeting, because the Conservation Commission, they watched their meeting last week after the fact, and they didn't have time to look into it, to give recommendation to the town. So I think that select people are going to vote on it tomorrow, right? As part of approving the whole warrant.
It will be discussed tomorrow at the select board, yes.
So I don't know. Go ahead.
I have a question. At one point, they were talking about 3.2 acres, so is that I'm very familiar with that land, but is that a separate parcel or with just what they expect?
That would be what, the maximum that would need to be used. It is not a separate
It's
parcel.
all one piece, right? That's what-
Correct.
So this would have to be, in essence, subdivided off and,
It may not technically have to be subdivided, but an area would have to be the jurisdiction of that area would have to change from the Conservation Commission to the Select Board.
yes, okay, thank you.
So,
Do we know when
Amanda?
the Conservation Commission is discussing this?
Well, they did on Thursday last week, and they won't be again before town meeting.
They won't be again before town meeting?
No, at least they won't have a recommendation. They need to get a lot more information.
Just to follow up on Amanda's point, so they're not gonna meet, so what would we, maybe I misunderstood what you said. If the Conservation Commission isn't gonna meet before town meeting, then why would we defer action for them to meet? I'm a little unclear what,
Well, the select board's meeting tomorrow, and they might want to take this article off the warrant until the fall. Or they may not, but that's a possibility, since the town won't be able to get a recommendation one way or another from the Conservation Commission. Although this could go forward anyway, but it's sort of ultimately contingent on the Conservation Commission endorsing this change and finding, some offsetting compensatory property.
right?
So either way, we could vote to approve it or not. And if it goes through, fine. If not, it's not really of any.
I mean, we could also, vote to indefinitely postpone, to say we wanna take no action, which would be indicating different than indefinitely postponing, because we don't have, a recommendation from the Conservation Commission.
All right, so I guess the choices are to vote to approve or not to approve now, to give a recommendation at town meeting, because we meet just before town meeting, or something else. Does anyone have a sense?
I have a question. This is town property, so we don't have to pay for it, correct?
Correct, it's already
It's
owned by
ours.
the
It's-
town.
I've, reading some of the articles, some of the other pieces, we would actually have to buy property, even though the town was given $900,000, I guess, to buy a piece of property. It wasn't able to find a good piece of property. So from my perspective, cost-wise for the town, this seems like a good idea to do 3.5 acres on a piece of property that is set in the middle of where the fire department sees most of the traffic. But to also have compensating land from someplace else go back into conservatorship.
I think Priscilla has her hand up.
Oh, Priscilla, go ahead.
Yep, so, I thought I had heard at the last select person meeting and from my knowledge of, environmental type things, doesn't the town have to set aside an equal land parcel for its conservation if it's taking some? Is that one of the deciding factors that's kind of holding things up? I think they have to replicate it someplace else.
Right,
Is that correct?
I think it is essentially correct.
But for the
Okay.
whole, just for the 3.5 acres, right, not for the whole,
Whatever's taken out of conservation protection.
Yes, to find find it someplace else.
Okay, so to me, it makes sense to kind of defer, because it sounds as though the plan is, is not fully formulated.
So, Carla, this isn't to support or not support that location. It's specifically to authorize the select board to petition the general court for special legislation which
Just
is,
a request to have it taken out of conservation land.
so, right. Well, go ahead.
Has it been determined whether whatever the acreage is, that's why I assume we'll need a survey, so that if we're taking 3 acres out, we've got to come back with 3 acres, but is that in one parcel, or is it multiple parcels, or do we not know that answer yet?
We don't know that answer yet.
Okay. So, is the current feeling that the select board will withdraw this article? Is that what I hear you saying?
I don't know.
We just don't know.
Right, we don't know, because
Okay.
the chairman of the Conservation Commission at that meeting said, well, if this goes before the town, we're not going to have a recommendation. I don't know how town meeting's going to feel about that, but.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone want to, MJ?
Are you talking about the special town meeting article on chapter 97?
It's Article 2.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm.
Yes.
Yeah, I I think the recommendation is going to be to withdraw this article. Based on the Conservation Commission, so it might make sense for this committee to say recommendation, to vote, to have a recommendation at town meeting, if in fact the article is gonna go forward. So that's, I really don't think it's gonna be an article at the town meeting.
Or that's a possibility, or we could vote to approve it, and if it's withdrawn, it's really of no consequence.
I would move that we defer action on this article at this time.
Okay. Is there,
Well, till town meeting, you mean?
yeah, give recommendation at town meeting if it's on the warrant?
If it's on the warrant, then we'd have to meet either, you know, right before town meeting or whatever, and either yay or nay.
Okay, so to discuss it at that time, just before town meeting, give recommendation then? All right, is there a second?
I'll second making a recommendation at town meeting.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this one? Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Is the vote we're taking to defer?
Yes, and give recommendation at town meeting.
Yes.
Thank you. Tom? Yes. Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Thank you. Next, 4C, the consent agenda. As you may recall, that's kind of a standard article that covers a lot of things. Is there any discussion about that one?
I move to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on annual town meeting, Article 1? Is there a motion to vote?
So moved.
Recommend?
I thought we just voted. I thought Tom just moved
thought-
it.
I
I
thought-
Oh,
seconded
I
it.
apologize. Second?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thinking ahead. Okay, it's been moved to second. Any further discussion? Okay, Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And chair vote yes. Thank you. Next, annual town meeting, Article 3, sewer budget.
Article 2?
Article 2?
Yeah, sorry. Article 2, sewer budget.
General fund operating.
Regular annual expenses, Article 2.
Right. Is there any discussion on Article 2?
Move for approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Thank you. Next, Article 4, ISWIM Enterprise. Go ahead.
Skipped Article 3.
Oh, I'm in front of the sink here. Oh, right, Ibanos. Okay, got it, sorry. Okay, Article 3, now the sewer budget. Thank you.
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion or questions about sewer budget, Article 3? Okay, is there a motion? You moved to, okay, and you, is there a second?
Rich seconded.
All right, got it, thanks. All right, now roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim? Yes. Okay, now, Article 4, ISWIM Enterprise Fund. Is there any discussion or questions about Article 4, ISWIM Enterprise Fund?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Okay, Amanda moves approval. Tom second. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Next, annual town meeting, Article 5, capital budget. Any discussion about Article 5?
I did have a question.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, so when the gentleman came in to talk about the amount that he needed to borrow for the school's wastewater treatment, he came in with 2.1 million. But I asked him if he had any quotes for it, and he said no. My question is, I know we're borrowing it, so it doesn't matter, but say somebody had come in for free cash, and it takes less money than what we expected. Where does that money stay in free cash? Okay.
Yes, so with a borrowing authorization, we only borrow what we actually spend, and then the extra authorization would be rescinded at a future town meeting.
Okay, all right, so sometime in the fall or whenever they get a quote and decide how much it's gonna cost, okay.
But once the project is closed out and the actual amount is known, we don't borrow more than we actually use.
Okay, so it would just go back to our debt would go down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could spend more next year if we needed to. Okay, thank you, that was just a general kind of question, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, any further discussion on Article 5?
Move approval.
Okay, Amanda moves to approve.
Second.
Rich, second. Priscilla?
Yes.
Thanks. Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Jim votes yes. Next, Article 6, to vote to hear town committee reports.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on Article 6? Tom?
Yes.
Sorry. Priscilla?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim, yes. Annual town meeting, Article 7, Community Preservation Committee Outdoor Recreation Feasibility Study. Is there any discussion on that?
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? No?
I would like to say something. So I just wanted to clarify, as with other items on the Community Preservation Fund projects, if in fact they don't use the 150K, what happens to that funding again?
It goes back to the open space reserve, it goes back to the open space available reserve balance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on Article 7? No? Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim? Yes. Thank you. Next, annual town meeting, Article 8, the all-wheel park.
I have a question. What's the PCP?
Well, let's see if that was a Scrivener's error. Let me quickly
Was
go
it
to the
supposed to
actual-
be CPC?
Where is it?
That's Article 8, or item J in our agenda.
Oh, not in the draft
Yeah, I would say that should be
CPA?
CPC. I think there's a little, I think it's catching that.
Oops.
Any further discussion on Article 8, the Community Preservation Committee all-wheel park proposal?
I'll move approval.
Yes,
Oh.
I would like to ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
So the question is, does this rent 500,000 represent design and construction
Yes,
and oversight?
yes.
Okay, so all three of those items are covered. Okay, thank you.
Motion to approve.
Amanda
Yes.
made a motion. Okay, Rich second. Any further discussion? Priscilla?
Yes.
Thanks, Rich. Oh, sorry, Tom?
Yes.
Rich? Yeah,
Is that a yes?
Rich, your vote?
you're up.
I'm sorry, I had lost track.
Yeah,
of
me
it.
too. So to vote yes or no for the CPC all-wheel park?
I thought I said yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. Rich is yes. Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim, yes. Next is Eno Town Meeting, Article 9, CPC, Anna's Pals Beach House roof repair. Is there any discussion or questions about that article?
Yes, I would like to say a few words, if I could.
Yeah, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. So because it takes a lot of time for me to raise my hand, and sometimes we don't see it, and sometimes we do, so sorry. I would like to know if there has been any plans, timelines, or intentions for further funding or any kind of written plans for this organization going forward, or even what the 135,000 covers. It was kind of a nebulous description in the last, I think it was a select board meeting, of roof repairs for 135,000. So does anyone know of any other plans or any timeline for this project?
No, I recall the proponents, were raising funds for more work, but I don't know if they had a timeline.
They didn't seem to have, from the discussion I heard, they didn't seem to have much of a schedule or an idea of really, I'll reserve my comments.
Right.
But I didn't think they had a schedule at all.
Yeah, but they thought that it was prudent to repair the roof while everything else was happening so that the whole building doesn't deteriorate further. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to add, so I think it is important to have the roof repaired because it causes other damage, and if their plan doesn't work out and it does revert back to the town, that becomes our asset again, so I'd rather have, less damage.
Right.
Right, and
MJ has her hand up if you want to call on her.
And I think that 135 was just the estimated cost doing the roof with some contingency there because they don't know exactly what they're going to find when they take off the shingles. So, MJ?
Thank you. I just want to say that in the agreement that we made with them, they have a certain timeline for raising funds, and then there is a reverter clause. So I do think it is prudent, as Amanda said, to repair this roof to preserve the building, because roof damage, having a bad roof can cause problems. But and I can't tell you exactly what the timeline is, but there are limits on they're seeking other funding, and there are time limits on them getting the additional funding.
Thank you. Any other questions or follow-up questions or comments about Article 9?
Just to follow up on Amanda's, is that it's also a historic building, and I think that regardless of whether it stays with Anna's house or not, it would end up needing a certain level of care. That's our responsibility from the town perspective.
Thank you. Okay,
Motion to approve.
Amanda makes a motion to approve,
Second.
second by Tom. Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Can you come back to me, please?
Yes. Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
I support what the group's trying to do, but I vote no on this article. I'm afraid that what's going to happen is we'll be right back with this building again with a group that doesn't seem to me to be as experienced. We went through this once already with a nonprofit, and I think I think we could be headed in the same direction again, and so I have to vote no.
Okay, thank you. Amanda?
I vote yes.
Kathy?
I vote yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Okay, I would vote yes. And Priscilla, are you ready to cast a vote? Or,
Can I abstain?
yes. Thank you. Okay, next is annual town meeting, Article 10, the CPC housing project, workforce housing on 9 Sandwich Road. Any,
I have a question.
go ahead.
The article in the paper seemed to infer that, or maybe it was just the way I read it, that the historic property was part of this, and then my understanding from the discussion we had that it was not part of it. Is there any clarity to that? Does anybody have a different understanding or take on it?
Probably read the same article you did in the Enterprise. It sounded like it was behind the historic building.
Well, that building, isn't that supposed to be moved?
Yes, I would say.
There's money from last year's town meeting to do that, but so far,
Nothing has happened.
nothing's happened.
Okay.
Any further discussion or questions about this?
Priscilla
Article
has her hand up.
Oh, Priscilla? No, who is it? Is it?
I think it's
MJ.
Priscilla.
No, I don't.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
think it was me.
It's an unknown, 508-759-4331.
Hi, you, unknown person, you have the floor. Could you identify yourself, please?
The person is on mute.
Okay, they took
Okay.
their hand down.
All right.
Took their hand
They need to
down.
like *9 to unmute.
Mr. Chairman, this is Barry Johnson. As regards to the house, I have been in touch with the Historic Society, and I can say that they are diligently pursuing this still. There's a great deal of permitting and coordination with utilities, et cetera. So they're still actively pursuing that project at this time.
But Barry, the proposed project for this article includes that parcel where the historic building is located now, or it does not? In other words, if the house is moved, does that site become part of the development? Or don't we know? And he's gone? Is he there?
You still
No,
have-
it's our understanding if it's moved, then that is the 9 Sandwich Road site.
Thank you.
And again, our motion was, as you know, for housing reserves to be applied towards the soft cost of all design of the project. That's the motion before you.
Thank you.
Our recommendation, excuse me.
Thank you. MJ?
Yeah, I just want to say that, so there was a demolition, delay on that, historic house that expired last May. We went to town meeting, we got funding for moving the house, which the Historic Commission is working on. The house will be moved, and that lot is where the affordable housing will, the proposed housing will be. The owner of the property has been very accommodating and waiting for the house to be moved, and has during this whole time been paying the property taxes on the house. So, yeah, it's a process, and everyone's working cooperatively on getting the project moved forward.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion, comments, questions about Article 10?
Move approval.
Okay, Amanda moves approval.
Second.
Tom second. Roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Thank you. Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Yes.
Amanda, Kathy?
No.
Carla?
No.
And Jim? Yes. Next, annual town meeting, Article 11, CPC projects. This several different projects in there. Is there any discussion or questions about Article 11?
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion approved and a second. Any further discussion?
I have just a question. Where does the revenue for the CPA funds come from?
It's a tax, a surcharge on our property
That-
tax of
it's a
3%.
That's just from there, okay.
They may
Right.
get grants, right? Do they have, no? Okay, I
It's-
apologize.
just
It's a
Just-
surtax on your
Your tax,
tax
it's
bill,
that
not
3%.
not 3% of the assessed value, it's 3%
Of
of
your
the
tax,
tax,
yep.
as I understand it.
Is there a matching fund from the state, some fraction of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion on Article 11? Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
I thought I moved and Kathy
Oh.
seconded.
Oh, and then there was discussion. I apologize. Sorry, got it, got it. Okay. So I guess we can, no further discussion, we'll vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Jim votes yes, thank you. Next, Article 12, CPC or Community Preservation Committee Administrative Expenses, Operating Expenses.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, there's motion to approve and second. Any further discussion on Article 12? Seeing none. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim? Yes. Next, Article 13, Stabilization Fund.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Amanda,
Second.
second by Rich. Any further discussion?
Only that, this is Priscilla, if I may.
Sir.
There, it should say on the draft, 200,000, but there's a zero missing, so
Oh, thank you.
just please note that.
Got it.
And
Thank you.
I vote yes.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No, it's a vote. Okay. Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim, yes. Next, Article 14, Capital Stabilization Fund.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Amanda,
Second.
second by Kathy. Any further discussion? This is to fund the Capitalization Stabilization Fund. Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
I find it, and I vote yes.
Thank you. Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Jim votes yes. Article 15, Human Services Grant Program.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion approved and second. Any further discussion on Article 15? Seeing none. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Jim votes yes. Next is Article 16, Reduce Size of Bourne Cultural Council.
Motion to approve.
Can we have some discussion on that?
Yeah, so we have a motion to approve and a second, and we have a discussion. Go ahead.
Could someone please tell me, like, typical things that are supported, typical activities or, other sorts of things that are supported by the cultural committee? I just want to get an idea of, like, the ramifications of reducing. I know it's hard to get members, but reducing from 11 to 5, so 5 people decide what kinds of things are supported by that committee.
Okay. MJ, do you have some information about that?
Yeah, so, there's like, this is a state mandated committee that determines where the funds received from the state for this purpose are spent. And the committee, the state requires requires a 5-person committee. A couple of years ago, there were a lot of people that wanted to participate in this committee. So we increased the size of the committee, but now we don't have very many volunteers. So now we're putting the committee back to the state mandated size so we can have actually a quorum of people participating, and that was the reason.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm ready to vote. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion on this article? Okay. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim, yes? Thank you. So next, annual town meeting, Article 17, to amend the bylaws where they say 31 days with numerals, and the word says 30 to make that all consistent. Any further discussion, or any questions on, or discussion on this one?
I just want to mention that the bylaw committee voted to recommend this article.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion approved and second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim? Yes. Thanks. Next, annual town meeting, Article 18, to increase the capital outlay limit items from 20,000 to 25.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any,
And again, the bylaw committee voted to approve this article.
thank you. Any further discussion, any questions about Article 18?
Just that the draft does not indicate it's 25,000.
Okay, thank you.
So, and that, have we voted, has someone moved and then seconded?
Yes.
Okay, so I vote yes.
All right, thank you. Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Jim votes yes. Next, annual town meeting, Article 19, to amend the wetland protection bylaw to allow the Conservation Commission to hire consultants for more than that limit from before, which I think was 2,500. Is there any discussion or questions about Article 19?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim, yes. Thank you. Next, annual town meeting, Article 20, about Beano license.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
And second. Any further discussion about Beano licenses? See none. Roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim votes yes. Next, Article 21, amend zoning bylaw, the Mass Code of Regulations chapter, to make the bylaw compatible or consistent with the general regulations. Is there any discussion or questions about that one?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have something. Could you just please briefly describe that one again?
Well, it reads, to see if the town will vote to amend the Bourne zoning bylaw with the specifics there by deleting 25, in quotations as follows, where access by fire vehicles or other large trucks is not anticipated, access adequacy shall reflect consistency with the performance intent of the geometric standards of subdivision regulations, the Bourne Planning Board and the Fire Department equipment access of, it said 527 CMR, that's the Massachusetts regulations, and they struck out the 25. I think that was the state changed the number of the code, so it doesn't change anything substantially.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome. Was there a motion on that one? Yes, it was
I had made
simultaneous,
a
right?
motion, yes.
And Rich seconded it, as I recall. Okay.
No.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion on Article 21? Roll call vote, Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Yes.
And Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim votes yes. Next, annual town meeting, Article 22, another zoning article. This one that would give applicants 3 years instead of 2 before a special permit lapsed.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is motion proven second. Any further discussion or questions about Article 22?
Does anybody remember why they wanted to go from 2 to 3?
I can tell you that 3 years is what is consistent with Chapter 48, the zoning act. So this would make it consistent with their
Okay.
enabling legislation.
So it's more like an administrative kind of change than it's going to match the existing,
It'll match the state law.
match the state law. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to say too?
Any further discussion on Article 22? Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Jim's yes. Next, Article 23, another zoning article to remove expired sunset date.
Motion to approve.
Approve.
Second.
It's been proven second. As you may recall, thank you, this one had something to do with, the original text said such and such a thing until June 1, 2022 or earlier, having to do with something about when the expected a limited access highway connecting Mid-Cape Highway, MacArthur Boulevard. Anyway, it was kind of a moot point, so this gets rid of that date. Any further discussion on this article? Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim, yes. Next, annual town meeting, Article 24, amend zoning bylaw, correct home occupation section number.
Motion to approve.
Is there a motion to approve? Is there a
Second.
second? Does anyone have any question? Go ahead. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions on that.
Okay.
So what would the ramifications be if this is changed? I guess in particular, what uses would be allowed with this change that are not currently affecting downtown?
I think this is another correction of the wrong number. In there, the explanation in the draft I have says, the functional standards and special permit criteria for the home occupation had an incorrect section reference for the home occupation as 4120. However, the correct section is 4110.
Okay,
So,
so it's a kind of a typo.
yeah,
In that vein, are we taking votes now, or is there further?
if there's any
discussion?
further discussion. Any? No, so we can vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda? Kathy?
Yes.
And Carly?
Yes.
And Jim votes yes. Next, Article 25, to amend the Bourne zoning bylaw dealing with accessory dwellings.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved and second. Any discussion or questions about this Article 25? Okay. All right, in that case, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Jim votes yes.
Cool idea.
Next, Article 26, for some easements to facilitate building the first stage of the Bourne mixed-use rail trail from the canal to Gray Gables. Is there any discussion or questions about that article?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion approved and second. Any discussion or questions?
Yes, I have some discussion.
Okay.
Now, the annual town meeting Article 26 on the draft document, it does not specifically talk about Gray Gables. So, would this be an all-encompassing article that could be applied to any property, really?
Well, it refers to only Phase 1 of the rail trail, which was previously, I guess, defined or delineated elsewhere, but it's, can you clarify about your question about, do you mean about, does it apply to the whole proposed route of this rail trail, or just to any property along Phase 1?
Well, the draft language
So it
seems
says,
to be pretty general.
it says running
So I
from Monument.
I didn't know whether it could possibly be applied to any property, or
No.
is it only the Phase 1? I'm seeing that it's very generally,
In the middle of the,
verbiage is very,
yeah, in the middle of the paragraph, it says running from Monument Neck Road at President's Road to the intersection with the Cape Cod Canal bike path at the railroad bridge. And then it says approximately shown on a plan entitled Massachusetts Department of Transportation Highway Division. Plan and profile of Bourne Rail Trail. I think it's pretty specific about where they're going to be doing this, the area.
Agreed, and finish that sentence, it says, it references Phase 1 in the town
Yep.
of Bourne.
okay, because I'm reading off of the draft Finance Committee report of annual town meeting and special, okay. Okay, thank you for your clarification.
I will say that
Go
the
ahead.
plan on file with the town clerk associated with this article is extremely detailed.
Thank you.
MJ's got her hand up.
Okay, MJ?
Yeah, I'm just curious about Priscilla's comment about the draft. Is this referencing the draft in the Finance Committee report?
Yes.
Which may need to have a little bit more clarification. I'm kind of, because the warrant draft is very specific,
Yes.
so I'm not sure which draft she's referring to.
Yeah, I'm citing the Finance Committee draft.
So our draft report, has a brief description of
Each article.
what the
yeah.
item, it doesn't reproduce the article or the motion, which may not even be there yet.
Okay,
So that's actually a comment for the report, that it may need clarification that it's only the Phase 1 easements in the report itself.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, any further discussion on this Article 26? Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
I'm gonna abstain on that one.
Okay. Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
No,
Amanda?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim votes yes. Next, Article 27, petition the general court for easement for municipal water line.
Motion to approve.
second.
Okay, it's been motion approved and second. Any further discussion or questions about Article 27? Looks like none. Roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes,
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Jim? Yes, thank you. Next, Article 28, sewage disposal easement for Worcester Ave. Are there any questions about this Article 28?
Can we, I think MJ brought it up at one of the meetings, I didn't see it in the article, about creating a set of rules about, that this is not going to be the first time that people come needing a piece of the road to be ripped up to put into the new, to put in new septic system, so a set of plans that the town can be guided by as future applicants come in. I don't know if we can add that as a comment from the finance team, or if anybody else agrees with it, that that's something that,
Well-
rather than having everybody show up at the town meeting each and every time to put rules in place.
So if I may, so I would recommend that we approve this so they can move forward, and if we want to suggest to the town that they put a policy and procedure in place that outlines a process to come forward in the future, that would be, we could perhaps recommend that, but I wouldn't make that part of this article. I don't want to hinder.
No, that, just as a comment in the draft, the finance report, that's something we would recommend for the future.
Well, we can certainly put that we had a conversation about it, because we're having one right now. I don't know if you want the committee to take that stand formally, so that you say we voted
MJ has her hand up.
to endorse such a thing, but just the fact that we're talking about it, you could say some member or some members raised that concern or had that recommendation. MJ?
I just want to clarify between this situation and future situations. So we are going to have future situations as people need to redo their septic systems, where they may need to encroach, and like where the septic system is going is in the layout of the road. So outside of the road, there's several feet that are like part of the layout that are not used for the road, but are an easement. And so this is underneath that. And each easement that the town grants or property will need to be voted by town meeting. Town meeting, the town meeting has to authorize all the easements that are made. So any future easement will come before town meeting. I think what we talked about at the select board was the question of whether we needed to charge for these easements, or whether easements for septic systems that are to the benefit of the environment are things that we can do, so without a fee. And we decided that these situations will happen in the future. We are looking to have septic systems improved and to improve the environment. And so this will happen again, but every easement has to be voted by town meeting. The select board does not have that authority without the vote of town meeting.
Thank you. So Cara, do you have something you'd like to have us include, or whoever
No?
gives a
No.
recommendation in this article? Thank you. Any more discussion or conversation about Article 28?
This is Priscilla. I have a question about this particular case.
Okay.
Now, what is, I think at the last select board meeting, they described it as a cesspit or a cesspool. Is that correct, or is it a retaining tank?
I don't know.
Okay, and also once we give them the, right to use the easement, do we also have a deciding, does the town have a deciding vote on what type of system it is? Because, it's clearly in an environmentally sensitive area. So there are a lot of types that are not appropriate. Does does the town have the right to decide what type is being put in?
I don't think given this easement is contingent on doing something that's above section.
The easement just gives a right to use that space, but in terms of what goes in that space would have to be based on town and state law that affects septic systems and whatever. So it would, this is just an easement to allow it to happen, but it doesn't describe what would happen there. That's a separate issue.
Tom?
Is that not code?
Any septic system installed in the town of Bourne has to be approved by the Board of Health.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion or questions about Article 28? Okay, roll call vote. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Jim votes yes. Thank you. So that went pretty quickly, not that much controversy. All right, so next is the draft Finance Committee report to town meeting. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at this, the other members.
I haven't.
Okay, well, it's gonna look pretty similar to last year's with updated numbers.
And you're doing that?
I'm doing it in part. I would like to thank Amanda, who's helpful, and Carla, who did a lot, who basically reproduced this. So thank you, Carla. Well, do people feel like they can vote this report? Tom?
I would say that I would put my faith in you three to get that correct.
Do we have to vote
The-
procedurally?
MJ, go ahead, MJ.
I would just say, and I haven't seen the report, but I would just say the clarification on the easement for the bike path, that it's only for phase one, would be something that needed to be added.
Yeah, I added that. Yep, I got that.
And, historically in the past, the Finance Committee has voted as committee to approve the report. So I would suggest that the committee do that.
Thank you. Maybe
Thank
we
you.
have another meeting to do it? I know Priscilla also caught a typo on another one, but it would give us also a chance to run it by Erica to validate
Okay,
the number.
I'd feel more comfortable also.
so, all right, so we want to defer this to a next meeting, which I guess would be 2 weeks from tonight, most likely?
When do we have to have it to the town?
Yeah, there's a timeline in the charter.
I thought
This
it was-
is like, you have to vote it tonight for the charter, I think.
I think it's next, I thought it was the
There's a
16th.
timeline in the charter.
Yeah, I thought it was
don't know how
next
fits
week.
in this year.
Thought your deadline was the 16th.
So what if people are available, we could meet Thursday?
Okay.
This Thursday?
Yeah, that's true. Do people think they could get together, even if it's remotely, on Thursday, 3 days from now, to vote on this report? Okay, looks
I
like,
may not be able to because I have to go into base. And I might not be back in time.
so it looks like we'd still have a quorum. All right,
I
so,
may not be able to, my computer finally died, so.
oh, you can use a telephone and say, yes, no, like Gary Johnson did.
I will see what I can do.
2, 3, 4. Looks like we still have 5 people. Okay, we'll plan to do that on Thursday,
Okay.
Okay.
and we'll send out updated one. It would include the votes from tonight, which obviously we didn't have. All right, so next is future agenda items. Well, that came up with the new meeting on Thursday. Then-
Oh, wait. When would we have to post the agenda for that? Tomorrow?
You'll need to send me an agenda tomorrow.
Tomorrow, and that's enough time for Thursday?
If you get it to me before 4 o'clock.
Yes,
we
Okay,
can
we'll
so
do
post
that's
it.
it, okay.
Rich?
Oh, we're gonna assign articles to people at some point?
Yes. There was supposed to be, sorry, there was it was supposed to be in here, it got deleted, but yes. So,
We can do it Thursday.
can we do that without it being on the agenda?
You have to create an agenda to submit to Marlene for Thursday. So you can add it.
So we couldn't do it tonight?
I don't know that it has to be an agenda. We were discussing each article. I don't see why we couldn't assign it as well.
Tonight? Okay, we could, let's assign articles. So, first of all, is any preference, Rich, do you want to do? this?
I'm gonna do the CPC articles as I've done in the past, if that's okay with everybody.
Yes, so, as I recall, you voted against one of them, right, and the committee voted in favor? You can give a report that just sort of describes the
It's what the
conversation.
committee's support. There's negative votes on a couple articles,
Yeah.
but the committee voted yes, so that's what,
You're right, I don't think we had anything that we said no to
Right, so,
altogether, yeah.
okay. Do you want all these CPC things? CPC,
yes.
thank you. Does anyone else want CPC?
I've got a question.
Tom?
Will we be doing it, what I recall, the same as the last time where a select person reads the actual verbiage of the article, and then we just simply say that we voted in affirmative or negative?
Right, except for zoning articles, which will be done by the planning board.
Okay, well, my point was someone else will present the article, and we just report what our vote was.
Right.
Okay.
And we could give any commentary you think would be appropriate. Some of them may be almost none, because someone else will be explaining what the vote means. And some you could say, well, there was conversation about the roof, or concern about, that old school building, whatever you think is appropriate to give some context to what our discussion was. All right, thanks, Rich, for volunteering for all those. Are there any other volunteers?
I typically get the ISWIM articles.
Okay. Maybe we should sign Wayne the fire station one, if that goes. Wonder if we should sign Wayne any other ones, like capital. He's on the cap outlay committee. So Kathy, do you want any particular ones?
I'll do the bylaws,
You mean the zoning bylaws?
well, the regular bylaws, but I'll do the zoning bylaws too, if you'd like. I
Okay.
think there were 3 of those, right?
Yeah, some were just changing
So
numbers
there were-
around, and
I
then there was
think there were-
accessory dwelling one.
Yeah, I think there were 5 altogether. Yep.
Okay, anyone else have a preference? Okay, so ISWIM's done. Special town meeting, Article 2, you can go to Wayne. I could do, does anyone, just raise your hand if you want anything. Anyone want consent agenda?
Fine, whatever.
Okay, Tom will do that one. I could do operating budget. Anyone want sewer budget? I'll do sewer budget. Capital budget. Let's give that to.
No, ISWIM. Article 4, ISWIM, I'll do.
Yeah, so you're taking
Yep.
anything with ISWIM?
Yep.
Okay. Let's give Wayne capital one unless there's some reason not to. Here are town reports. Priscilla, do you want to do one, like, or more?
Sure, whatever's left, or, whatever you want to give me, I'll take.
Thanks. Well, you could take, here, town reports, Article 6. This went to CPC Stabilization Fund. Anyone want Article 13? Carl, do you want to get broken in with one of these?
I think writing the report was a good breaking in
Yes, yeah,
point.
quite right. All right, I can do Stabilization Fund.
Okay.
Let's give Wayne Capital Stabilization Fund. Anyone want Human Services Grant Program?
Sure.
I can take that one.
Oh, give it to Priscilla.
Thank you, Priscilla. Bourne Cultural Council, 1. Tom?
Put me down, whatever.
Tom, thank you. Okay, it's another bylaw, which would be Kathy. Capital outlay items,
I thought you were sending that to Wayne.
yeah. Okay, another bylaw, Kathy. Beano license. Want to start with that,
Oh, I
Carla?
want that one.
Sure.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, zoning. This is Kathy, right? And then
Yeah,
rail trail easements, anyone want that?
I'll take that one.
Thank you. Article 27, municipal water line,
Sure.
thank you. Article 28, sewage disposal easement,
Sure.
thank you. All right, I'll check with Wayne to make sure those are okay with him. We don't have any minutes tonight. In addition to Thursday, we usually meet about half hour before, let's say 1/2 hour before special town meeting starts, 6:30, to go over anything left over. Okay, is there any more discussion?
Do we get to vote at the town meeting? Yes, we all get a buzzer.
Oh,
we get
yes.
to vote?
Mhm.
Okay, all right. And oftentimes, the finance person does not have to get up to the podium to say anything. In what situations does the finance person normally have to get up to say
Oh, I
something?
think we have to
Every-
say
we
something.
have to say
We-
something.
We have to get up
We
every
have to
time?
And that's what we're signing now, as I
Okay.
understand it.
Yes.
You might have some comments based on discussion within the finance committee, but we're not actually making the motion like we've done in the past.
Okay.
And on April 17th at 4 PM, there's a moderators meeting, which is like a dress rehearsal, and people are welcome to attend.
It's at 4, you said?
Yes.
I think it's at 3.
I thought
Oh.
so, too,
Oh, it's
but
at
yeah.
3?
I think so.
Three?
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize, 3 PM. Okay, any further discussion for tonight? So, thank you. We'd like to thank the town administrator, and the assistant town administrator, and Erica for all the help this season. And is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
second.
Okay, thank you. Roll call vote. This is a motion to adjourn. Priscilla?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Yes.
And Jim votes yes. Thank you.